Hi, sorry, is this my seat?
How I know?
I think this is my seat number.
Why are you so late?
I just went toilet.
Toilet more important than me, ah.
I'm very sorry.
Do as you like, nah. Don't even know how to say sorry. Hi, my name is Evie, or people actually call me Evie. I've been a maido or a maid since 2018.
Hi everyone, my name is Toshiro. I have been a butler for a little over a decade by now.
We actually serve in the Tsundere Cafe. So Tsundere means that there's the aspect of being very mean to the customer, as well as dere, where, you know, because we feel bad about being mean to you, we be a little bit more sweeter to you.
What led you to where you are today?
It came out as a dare, like a friend of mine actually introduced a particular character from a cosplay, and then not many guys had done it before, not many guys have successfully pulled it off. So I just decided, you know, let's try it. And then since that cosplay, I've then been engaged to be a butler in character. You know. Today we're going to talk about what's it like to be working in a Tsundere Cafe in Singapore.
What's that? Different generation lah.
What? No, dude, not that old. Just don't take a hammer. Do you need help? Oh, wow. Oh, that's the problem why I'm worried about.
Tell us about what you usually do at your job. Well, first of all, you are super mean to the customer. You do not greet the customer. You get the customer to come to you. I think the best part is that we get angry. So we will normally ask them, why are you late? Why are you not on time? Why are you not at your table on time?
What is a theme cafe to me is it's more focused on what's the specialty that we have. So in our case, Tsundere Cafe, it's us being Tsun and yet dere, means we are nasty and yet we care. That itself is a very interesting mixture, I think, for all the cafe goers. Like Karen's Cafe before it was Karen's Cafe. You can do it. What was the worst or creepiest customer interaction you ever had?
I'm actually very lucky because I think so far all the customers have been very nice and respectful of boundaries.
I think they're scared of you, that's why.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, that's effective, right? So far, nothing really that creepy. I think in real life, I have more creepier, like stranger encounters compared to being in a cafe. So in a way, it's a bit weird because like the cafe is a bit more of a safer space. People who are more into the culture, you know, they tend to act or, you know, like certain things or behave in a certain way. Because we are in the community for so long, we kind of know like, you're weird too. We say, yeah, same, me too, you know, kind of thing.
Is there a limit of what they can ask for?
Anything gets too physical, regardless of male or female customers, that's where we draw the line very clearly, say like, no physical touch. Personal selfies, I think.
Or like questions that are more invasive of the maid or butler's privacy. What's a misconception people have about your job that you can't stand?
Well, for Tsundere, right, so ultimately, people think it's borderline SM. There's a clear misunderstanding going on. We do really honestly care about our customers. So even if I'm mean and harsh and like deep down staring very coldly, I still feel very bad actually. I honestly wish to run up to all my customers, so as they leave the cafe, I really apologize and honestly enjoyed the experience.
Yeah, I do that too. Like right after being mean and like bye or like don't even say bye to them, I'll like run out of the cafe. Thank you so much for coming! People think that, you know, if you wear a maid dress or you wear something a bit more sexier, people will like kind of think like you're into fetishes or things like that. It's more of a sexualized thing coming up to life in a cafe setting.
Basically, for a butler's perspective, generally most people just feel like as a guy you're just there to be like a host club. They expect the guy to do some sort of seduction. I think that's the biggest misconception I've ever had until now. Bingo game. Customer interaction. Shout bingo when you have completed a line. I saw the first one and Shui knew that we've done it.
Slap the customer. Step on the customer. Insulted the customer. Made the customer cry.
Oh my word. Unfortunately.
Lick the customer's forehead.
Too many times, I think.
Bingo!
No.
I just realized.
The most common one probably is being a flick to the forehead because it's, you know, mediocre. They would expect it to be something very light, but actually it goes really hard. And then
Yeah, for me, it will also be the same. It will be the flick on the forehead, but I'll be like,
so in short, she's actually expecting the customer to go towards, not.
like, you know, I'm right here, but then I'll make them take my time with it, literally take my time.
But to that on, yeah, some of the really extreme ones that we have had is push-ups. Yeah, guess everyone wants to keep fit.
I think the most, prized kind of punishment is stepping on them and slapping them. So what happens is that normally they'll pay for the slap. We'll have a some sort of like indemnity, and normally I will ask them to like yell it out at the top of their lungs, please slap me, Evie-sama. And then sometimes it's like, louder, I can't hear you, I'll make sure the whole cafe can hear it, and then yeah, I'll go ahead.
Re-enact scene where the customer just enters the cafe. You want to be? Nah, I'll be the customer. I'll be the customer.
Okay, so imagine like this is the table, and this is the designated seat where the customer will be sitting at. So the customer walks in.
Sorry, do I take this seat? Hi, sorry, is this my seat?
How I know?
I think this is my seat number.
Why are you so late?
I just went toilet.
Toilet more important than me ah.
I'm very sorry.
Do as you like, nah. Don't even know how to say sorry.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he said all.
Are you actually tsundere outside of your work setting? Not at all! But I think the horrible thing is that if I do work in a Tsundere Cafe event, one whole day is fine. But the second day, right, the personality will start rubbing off me. I start being pissy, very moody in real life right after the shift.
People who work at Maid cafes have no real career aspirations. Wow, okay. Whoever said this, you gotta visit cafes in Japan because they are earning big bucks. Easily more than our monthly gross income. Not in Singapore, like other countries, particularly Japan, it's really hype and crazy there. And that's where customers really pay all sorts of money just for the service. I mean, in Singapore, probably you think twice. And well, if we're talking about cafe, like Tsundere Cafe or other pop-up cafes, then yeah, it's near impossible to actually live off any of these kind of things. I think touching NDA. No, definitely not. Unfortunately.
Being a corporate slave still earns more. There are rarely female customers in Maid cafes.
Oh my word.
I think we have a very good mix at our events where it's most like quite 50-50.
We don't allow customers to choose who's going to serve them. It's kind of like a surprise. Hello, you're seated here at this table. Guess what? I'm serving you. You don't get to choose Evie-sama. The typical age group is somewhere around teenagers, like from Sec 1 all the way to, I'd say, 30s at most. That's the typical age group. The unexpected ones that we've seen so far is, well, those who come with their kids. Unfortunately, parents, right?
Those that come with their mom. I think that the mom didn't know what was going on. I think the mom had a shock when I scolded her for sitting down on the at the table by herself. I made her stand up, and then I made her sit down after a while. She said she put down her handbag and she was confused for a while. It was a very interesting dynamic. At the same time, the guy was enjoying the interaction, and all the other maids and butlers, the maids and butler were like being mean to everybody else. But I think because his mom was there, he himself couldn't indulge in what he wanted to do right in front of his mom. What was the most memorable experience you had working at SubaToki Cafe? The most recent one that a bit pulled at my heartstring was this guy who was very introverted. He hardly spoke sentences when interacting with me, and he was alone. The rest were like kind of like one or two with friends. The rest of them were actually quite jovial, and they were all started being friends with each other, started interacting. But this guy, he was just like, I don't know, he was just crouched like a shrimp. He was just so scared. He didn't dare to take off his mask. So I was being so mean to everybody. When I turned to him, I'm like, do you want your food? Because he was trembling. You can tell that I don't know whether he's trembling out of excitement or fear, but I think it was both.
But Toshiro, does it feel weird doing a job usually done by women? No, actually not at all. You know, obviously I stand out a lot. You'll be surprised because of this, right? I'm actually double upping as a bouncer or security. You know, typically people think the word cafe, oh, maid, full stop. They don't even venture off and think, oh, the butler. To me, that was actually like something I want to like try to break away from, you know, everyone realizing that the cafe staff is all women. Guys can do the job as well. Alright, Rose, one of our crew members, I won't say your, or the viewer. Why do you think so sloppily? Can't you see all the sauce all over the table? Are you going to clean it? You're going to use your tissue? Are you going to use your t-shirt? My goodness. This kind of thing also have to tell you. Yeah, something along these lines. Go.
How do you handle difficult situations at work? For example, customer getting offended, weird requests.
That's the part about being a butler in this kind of cafe is that I have a very fine line tread over and make sure that I don't appear as too scary, too creepy. But we have several briefings for the staff, the crew, as well as some sort of indemnity. Customer actually purchased a set of 2 for him and his girlfriend, I believe. The girlfriend came in the cafe without knowing what was going on at all. One of our staff tried just a little bit of Tsun, just asking me, why are you taking so long to sit at your seat? And that triggered her, and then I think the girl started crying and all. Yeah, I think that's tough. Whenever the customer cries, it's tough.
Give us your best Tsundere impression. No, I already broke character. Quite grateful for this opportunity because a Maid cafe or or whatever theme cafe or especially Japanese culture stuff, it's not always what most people, unless you're in it, you won't really know what it's like.
Suppose I have to say thank you for watching For Real For Real.
I guess you can choose to subscribe or hit the like button. Or if you don't like me, then you just put it in the comments lor. Bye.
Bye.